Hi everyone, Janie here. I want to introduce you all to Debb Cozy. Did I say that right? Cozy, just like a cozy garden. So Debb has actually been featured on my channel before. You are on the Show Me Your Gardens video, the Zone 9 video, and everybody was obsessed with Debb's garden because it's beautiful. It is absolutely incredible.
Thank you,
so
sweetheart.
While I'm down here in San Diego to visit Premier Color, I texted Debb and I said, please, could I stop by? And you were so sweet to invite me in, and we're gonna have lunch, and it's gonna be amazing. So how long have you lived here at this house?
So we moved here in 1987.
Okay.
And it was before we had kids, and we had 3 boys, and we raised
boys.
them here. And now we have 5 grandbabies, and so we are helping to raise them, and they come visit quite often. And so, anyways.
So this is the mountains of San Diego. Is that how you say
it? We refer to it as North County.
North County.
Yeah,
okay.
North County. We're kind of at the base. So Mount Palomar, where the Palomar Observatory is.
Oh yeah.
It's just like right up the road.
Oh,
but
how
you
funny.
have to twist and turn up the mountains. So yeah, we're kind of in a valley.
We're not exactly close to the ocean right now, but we're very far south in California.
Yes.
So it's, I mean, I can't wait to show you guys this garden. This is an absolute stunning garden. So you are the gardener?
Yes.
You're the main gardener?
I'm the main gardener. So yeah, pretty much everything that's here has been at the work of my hands. So,
and then can you please tell everybody how old this garden is?
So we've been here since 1987. When we first moved here, I should probably back up. I was not a gardener.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with gardening. My grandmother was a gardener. My great-grandmother was a gardener. And I always loved the idea of gardens. I'm a huge Anglophile. So, anything English gardens, Gertrude Jekyll, Monty Don, all the things. I just love that. And so when we moved here, it was just a big open piece of property. There was nothing here, no trees, no nothing. There was just weeds up to our neck. And but I saw this land and I was like, I have ideas. I'm going to make a garden. And so we, very naively started trying to put a garden together and didn't have a lot of resources. There was no internet, there was no Google, there was none of that stuff. There was, Victory Garden on PBS on Saturday mornings and Better Homes and Garden magazine. And that was about all we had, So anyways, very naively, drew up all these plans. And I had this book. In fact, I think I had sent it to you. It's The Romantic Garden.
Yes.
So when I'll
link it down below. It is a beautiful book.
When Michael Glassman told you country romance was going to be the theme of your garden, right? I was like, oh my, it just took me back to those way back days when I was like, I know what she's feeling. I know, like that tingle of like, oh, that's what I want exactly. And so anyways, we started out with an idea and we quickly figured out we did not have the resources to do it. We didn't have the time resources. We didn't have the money resources. We didn't have the knowledge resources. And then we started having babies. And then, life took us in a whole different direction. Our focus and our priorities changed. And so for years and years and years and years, our garden was just mowed weeds that we maintained it. But my grandmother told me, if you do nothing else, plant trees. And so she loved jacaranda trees. And so she gave me a couple of the jacaranda trees. And every year we would find a tree or two and kind of plant it, not really with a plan. I knew that I would eventually want to have some kind of border or something. So we tended to put the trees kind of on the outside periphery. And we did some foundation planting, some junipers and things like that, just to kind of give it some kind of life. So it just wasn't this desolate open
wasteland or something like that.
But really did not do anything. But this garden, as you see it now, has lived inside my head since I was a 20-something-year-old girl. And in 2021, we have 2 dormant wells that are on the property, and my husband got the wells up and running for me.
And everything changed.
Because all of a sudden we had access to water. And when you're in Southern California, I think you probably struggle with the same thing with the droughts.
It's a constant in the back of my mind, you know, it's just, am I going to be able to water this plant? Is it going to survive here? All that kind of stuff.
And drip irrigation. Love it and hate it.
Same.
It's like an ongoing thing. But anyways,
so the trees are older.
So the trees are older, but everything else, the lawn, all of the border, all of the flowers, all of the roses, everything else, we started in 2021. So
2021, you guys. I cannot wait to show you what Deb has done in 3.5 years. 3.5 years. Okay, let me grab the camera and let's go.
Okay.
So Deb, this is technically your backyard.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so this is the back of your house.
Our house is built backwards on the property. It's kind of a pie-shaped property. We sit at the point of the pie, and the back of the house faces the front yard, and then our front of our house faces the backyard.
So it's kind of fun. And we're not going to feature the backyard today just because this is so huge. And Deb, you have done so much work on this. It's going to be like a 2-hour-long video if we feature the backyard. But I'm going to come back and we're going to feature the backyard.
All right.
Beautiful pool, all that kind of stuff. But really, the front yard is the garden, right?
Yes.
The front yard, back of the house is the garden.
Yeah. This is where I spend most of my days.
Oh, I just love it. And you do it all yourself.
We do it all ourselves. My husband takes care of the lawn, so my hubby does the lawn, and he'll help me with the heavy things, you know, if we've got tree trimming and stuff. Every once in a while, our trees are getting to a point where I'm not able to do them. You know, it's kind of dangerous to try to do them ourselves, so we are going to have to try to make friends with an arborist to come in and take care of some of our trees. But for the most part, I do pretty much everything.
If you all see birds flying around, those are all hummingbirds, by the way. They're all hummingbirds, and they're just flying all around us. It's absolutely, it's Eden here. It is Eden. Okay, so Deb, why don't you take us down?
Okay.
First, I have to ask you about this ground cover.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It is just an ice plant. I think it's called Star something. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names.
That's okay.
It's the standard ice plant that's sold as a lawn alternative at Home Depots in Southern California.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you've just used it as this beautiful ground cover around.
It's wonderful. It's fairly, every once in a while we'll get some weeds that pop up in the middle of it, but for the most part it really helps to abate the weeds, and it gives you a green cover.
Yeah.
This does not get any supplemental watering, so it's really drought tolerant.
Wow.
It can handle the drought. And
so let's just, before we even get started showing everything, let's talk about your garden nemesis. Deb is the sweetest woman I've ever met, but the one creature in this world that she does not like is
gophers.
Gophers.
Honest to goodness. My husband teases me, and he says that I look disturbingly like Bill Murray in Caddyshack sometimes, and has been known to check my hands to see if I'm carrying sticks of dynamite.
We took a preliminary walk around the property, and the amount of time is, and the gopher did this, and the gopher did that.
I told Janey, I'm like, please help me not focus on the gophers.
So I wanted to point out the gophers, and the gophers it is a constant battle.
It is
that
a
you
constant
fight.
battle.
Yeah.
It just
that is, but you know, every garden has something, right? Every garden has something that you have to deal with, and you obviously are winning.
Well, I don't know about that, but I have small victories.
You are winning. So tell me what this little building over here is.
So my husband, long before COVID, he was in marketing, and he's retired now, but he has always worked remotely. And so for a long time, he worked out of one of the bedrooms, but you know, we had boys, we had young kids, and wanting to kind of have that separation between work and home so that we could, you know, live our family life. So the very first thing that we did before we ever did garden or anything else, we saved up, and we just bought a little prefab building so that he could put his office there. So, and now he's also a musician. He plays the piano, and so he's got he's got a piano in the house, but he also has one down here. So it's very sweet now that he's retired, because I'll be out working and he'll be playing the piano. So he serenades me with his piano all the time.
So I really love that. So that's Mario's.
So that's Mario's space. I did ask him when we retired. I said, so seed room.
Do you still want
starting?
Like, I give it up.
No.
You didn't give it up. Okay, so I mean, where do we even get started? First of all, let's talk about the different types of gardens you have, because you have separated this big property into gardens.
Yes.
So we have, what are the names of the gardens?
Well, this one we just call the pathway garden because it's the path. This was actually this path before there were any plants was the start of our, I can show you some pictures, it's kind of embarrassing. For many, many, many years, we didn't have the stairs there, we didn't have the gravel. We just kind of slided down the bank and walked through the mud to get to my husband's office. And it was, I got tired of having to clean it up, and it was an embarrassment. People would come and it was just like, oh, this looks awful. So this is actually in 2020, before we got the well up and running. I told my husband, I'm putting a pathway in. I'm done with this. And so I got out and this was just all weeds.
This is a rosemary hedge?
Yes, this is rosemary.
So this was put in 2020?
This was put in the pathway. So I think that was 2019 when we put the pathway in.
Oh,
yes. So yes. So this
beautiful.
Is a rosemary, yes.
So beautiful. And
very drought tolerant, and that when it's in bloom, so it'll just be covered in beautiful, that really soft blue flower, and the bees love it. The hummingbirds, bees just love it.
I love it when rosemary's in bloom.
Yes.
So tell me.
So this is Big Blue Salvia.
So this is not Mystic Spire's blue salvia, which is what I thought it was.
Yes.
But it's not.
Yes.
Big Blue.
This is Big Blue Salvia. Yeah, there's a little bumble.
Showing off for us.
No, they're just my favorite.
And you grew that from seed.
From seed, yes.
So Deb has grown a huge portion of this gorgeous garden from seed, which is insanity, Deb. I cannot believe it. I like it. This looks like you've gone to the garden center and just picked out a whole bunch of plants, but you grew it.
Well, I love to grow things. I love to take care of things. I love to nurture things. That's part of the reason that I garden, is just to, be invested in the work of creation, as God allows us to do that. And so I really love doing that. But also there's practical considerations. We have 2 acres of land, and we've, God has blessed us tremendously. We're very, very blessed in our home, but we have limited resources.
Absolutely.
And, the reality is that I don't have it in my budget to go out and just buy, hundreds of plants, which is literally what you need, to fill a garden of this size. So, I can start them by seed at a fraction of the cost.
I just can't believe it. We're going to go through and we're going to point out everything that Deb's, well, maybe not everything, a lot of the stuff that Deb has grown from seed, because you all will see what is possible. Can you tell everyone your favorite seed supplier?
So my favorite seed supplier is Swallowtail Seed Company. I buy the vast majority of my seeds from them. They're in California. I love supporting, local businesses and stuff. But beyond that, they have a fantastic selection of seeds. They germinate wonderfully. I've never had a problem with their germination or their growing. And so I talk about them all the time on my Instagram stories. Yeah. Not paid by them or anything.
Right? You should be, though, because I'm going to go spend a ton of money at
really love them. Seeds. I also do Johnny seeds. Sometimes I'll do Baker Creek. I'm not like solely focused on them, but they are my first go-to, for a lot of the stuff that I do.
So you got Big Blue.
Big Blue is from Swallowtail. Yes.
Goodness.
So
yes. Big Blue, so Mystic Spire Salvia is my absolute favorite plant ever, but Big Blue, the calyxes on this Big Blue, I'll show you other plants that I can get closer to, they're darker than Mystic Spires.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And you can see, the bumblebees are on them right now, the honeybees are on them, the hummingbirds love them. And they're in Southern California. I don't know how they're actually listed as an annual. So I think they're considered a tender perennial, but they are an absolute hardy perennial in Southern California. So not even a tender perennial. I think this stand is probably, I think I planted this one in 2021. Wow. So in the fall, and one of the things I love about it is even when the flowers fall off, the calyx are still so pretty. They never lose their color.
It looks like it's dark, still blooming.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. You have that color all summer long. It continues to bloom. You can see new babies are coming up here. So these are the ones that came up like maybe in March or so, and now we've got new babies that are coming. And then in the fall I'll come and I'll just cut off all of the calyx, and you have this beautiful green shrub.
You leave the foliage.
I leave the foliage, yeah.
Interesting.
So now in colder temperatures, you probably would lose it, but I leave the foliage and it looks beautiful.
I'm going to leave my foliage this year and see what happens, because I've always cut it back to about 6 inches.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
I mean, you would probably, I would say like every 3 or 4 years, you'd probably want to do a rejuvenation prune like that to cut it all the way down.
Yeah.
But, I think you could do it like every second or every third year.
Yes.
And then you have just a really pretty, and it's, in Southern California, so much of because so many people plant drought tolerant, understandably so. Yeah. But a lot of the drought tolerant stuff is that kind of gray green color, and I know that people love that. Oh, it's blue. Yeah, it just looks like desert.
It's also very dry.
It's dry. Yeah. Color. So I love the depth of the green in this one. It's one of my favorite things. So,
okay, just while we're over here, can you tell us the story about your amaryllis?
Yes. So, well, we have this little amaryllis down here, and my father-in-law loved amaryllis. It was his absolute favorite plant. It's not blooming right now. It's out of season, but on his 10-year anniversary of his passing, I bought an amaryllis plant and planted it up in on our patio. And it was beautiful, had green leaves, but it never bloomed. Year after year after year, never blooms, no blooms at all. So, and then my mother-in-law, who I loved dearly, just loved her passionately, and unfortunately she got bladder cancer, and it was a terminal diagnosis, and in the process she started deteriorating cognitively. And so we moved her. She lived up in Murrieta, and we moved her here so she could live with us, so I could take care of her. And so that was kind of in 8 months where we had hospice, and took care of her and just loved her. We'd sit on the patio, she'd watch the birds. And she loved the hummingbirds, and we have bird feeders out with the orioles would come and everything. She'd love that. So anyways, the amaryllis never bloomed. She died in the afternoon in April, and the next morning I came out, and the amaryllis was covered in blooms. Oh my God. And it was the first time that the amaryllis had ever bloomed. Oh my and God. It has bloomed faithfully every year since. And it's gotten bigger. It's just, I moved it because it was in a pot. It was getting overgrown and everything. So I moved it down here. I just leave it in the ground, and it just blooms and blooms and blooms. And, I know it's really fanciful, but I just like to think it's
I mean, you say that, and my whole body gets chills, because it's like,
none of them pupper together, and they're happy, and it's just like their sign to us.
I know there's not much to show you all.
No, it's one of those beautiful white ones with the pink throat, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful when it blooms.
I had to have you tell that story, because it was just incredible. Okay, Deb, let's make our way over here to this, the Breath of Heaven garden. What do you call this?
Yeah, we call this the jacaranda bed.
Jacaranda bed.
Yeah, because this jacaranda tree. I kept talking to it before you got here. It was like, hurry up and bloom, hurry up and bloom. But now, if you're in downtown San Diego right now, all the jacaranda trees are in bloom. Ours are always at least a month and a half behind the ones in downtown San Diego. So let me show
a picture of what the tree looks like, the jacaranda tree looks like in bloom, because it is stunning. And I've been driving. I actually came from downtown San Diego and seen them on the side of the road, and they are beautiful. And Deb is giving me a baby that I'm taking home in my carry-on.
And then I'll have a taller one that when I go up to Tahoe, I'll swing by and drop it off for you.
So unfortunately, her jacaranda is not blooming right now, but it doesn't matter, because we can imagine what it will look like. And you have this one.
And there's one in the corner over there. Yeah. And then we've got two. So these two are the original ones that are up here. Okay. And then these two down here are actually babies. They're saplings that grew from seed from these two that are up here.
That's incredible. That is so much fun. And this
is my grandma's. It was my grandma's favorite tree, and she had them all over. She lived in Los Angeles, and
she had them. How sweet Deb is. She's the sweetest person. She's a cozy garden on Instagram, so I'll link it down below. But I just love you, Deb. Okay, so we have more of the big blue salvia.
Blue salvia that all grew from seed. There's geraniums that I grew from seed.
So Breath of Heaven, Coleonema, right?
Yes.
Ugh, it just smells so good.
It is.
I just love it. Yeah. And you've really gone all out planting these, right?
Yes. I had more of them, and I had to take a couple of them out this last winter. I think they were getting too much water from the lawn. So there were some over here I call this kind of my English border garden.
Look at this, you guys.
She's my wild child this year.
Oh my gosh.
She's kind of run amok with self-seeded
okay,
things,
so before we come over here, let me just focus on this over here. Is this Martha Washington?
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
Martha Washington.
Did you grow that from seed?
No, that I did not grow from seed.
Okay.
The geraniums, the zonal geraniums, I all grew from seed.
These you grew from seed?
Yes,
oh
yes, the zonal
goodness.
geraniums I grew from seed. The Nicotiana in the back I grew from seed.
Is this the lime green one?
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
And it, you know, it's, I was told, oh, it smells so good, and during the day I never smell anything. You have to come at night, in the evening.
I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah, and in the evening it is a beautiful perfume. It really smells lovely. So don't get disappointed if you think your Nicotiana doesn't have a scent. It does. You just have to come in the right time of the day.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Look, I mean, look at the layering right here. Isn't this incredible?
The blue is germander, so it's an Australian flower. It has a really pretty purple flower in the springtime. It's gotten a little unwieldy. I think I'm going to kind of trim it up this fall, kind of contain it a little bit.
Yeah.
It does sprout from, it has rhizomes, so it's
at Park Winters, they make it sphere, and it's pretty. Okay, so now let me take you all look at this garden, and this is what Deb calls
my wild child.
Which yes, I see it, but look at how beautiful it is.
So it's supposed to be an English border garden.
It is an English border garden.
It has self-seeded like crazy this year. So all the larkspur, I started it last year, and it just self-seeded this year. I didn't plant any new. This is all just from self-seeding.
Oh,
and
goodness.
The sunflowers, I have no idea where they came from, because the sunflowers are planted in a whole different part of our garden. So
thank you, birds.
The birds must have brought them here. And they're rather audacious, don't you think? I mean,
I think they're incredible. I think
there's no back of the border for them.
No back of the border.
Yeah,
they're just, and then we got another one back there. Oh, I just love it. This is so beautiful.
And I've got gladiolas in here, and there's campanula. It hasn't started blooming yet, but there's campanula.
So you're kind of behind.
I'm kind of behind. We've had a long, slow, cool spring.
That's so interesting.
So today's supposed to be 81, 82 degrees. It's our first 80-degree day this year.
Oh my goodness.
So it's slow this year.
Yeah, because my foxgloves they're done. They're like, I need to go cut them all back right now.
Yeah.
You know, and oh my goodness.
Well, some of my foxglove will bloom all summer long. They're big enough now. Like the peach ones back there, those are true biennial. So of course we planted them one year, they were just green. And then last year they bloomed, and they just kept sending up spires all summer long.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's particular to the true biennial foxglove, or if it's, most of these are Camelot or Dalmatian, which are very reliably bloom in the first year.
The first season.
So yes.
Yeah. So Deb, you are a believer in self-seeders.
You know, if a plant grows somewhere, I think it kind of deserves a chance to be there.
I love that.
I know Fanula says, you know, plant will tell you where it wants to grow. And it really is true. Now, sometimes you don't necessarily want it to grow where the plant wants to grow, like my sunflowers there.
Oh, I love it. So
you know, I'm not going to second guess God's plan in those things. You know, if he determines the sunflowers should be there.
Look at this layering, you guys. Oh, Deb, you've done a beautiful, beautiful job. And I love that you've seeded us all, and I love that you let some things grow where they want to grow.
Yeah.
Should we talk about this now?
Yeah, we can. There's a bigger stand of it over there.
Well, I'll show you the stand over here, but tell me what this is.
Yeah, this is Mystica penstemon, and this is another one. It's a perennial, and I started it from seed, and it comes back every year. After the blooms die, I just, you know, cut it all back. And I really like this one in particular because I love the new leaves have that little touch of red on them with the green, and I just think it's such a pretty accent in the garden, even when it's not flowering. It just
Where
gets
did you
pretty.
get these seeds from?
Swallowtail again.
Swallowtail. Okay, Swallowtail, take my money. Take my money. Oh wait, let's talk about this.
That's a potato bush.
A potato bush, you guys.
It's been trained as a topiary.
Wow.
And it's a little bit challenging to keep it in its lollipop shape, but I just Love the deep color of the
Does it take a
flowers.
lot of work?
It doesn't take a lot of work. It's just the way that it branches. I don't know that it's necessarily suited to be a lollipop. The nurseries did it because obviously when you go in and you see a little lollipop like this, you know, but these are 2 years old or 3 years old now.
Wow.
So they're doing okay.
And then can we talk about
the lilies?
Oh,
yeah.
So they're not quite in bloom
They're not
yet.
quite in bloom yet. And I was, you know, when I purchased them, I think I got them from Longfield Gardens. And they, you know, the description, I don't remember the name of them. I think, I don't even know if they're Asiatic or I always get those confused.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Anyways, they, you know, the description was, oh, they grow 6 to 7 feet tall. And so I planted them in the back of the border. And for the first 2 years, they were, you know, maybe 4 or 5 feet. And so they got hidden behind everything else. Well, this year they kind of popped up above. So I'm like, oh, well, look at that. It's like the potato bush has a flower crown on it, you know.
Oh, I cannot wait to see these in bloom. So make sure you follow Deb on Instagram because you're going to.
I will. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I will post.
So Deb's a photographer, guys. She's we're going to have lunch later, and you know I'm going to be talking to her about tips, photography tips, because you started off as a landscape photographer.
Yeah,
oh, my goodness.
I did. And then I did portrait photography for a while. And then I still help, my daughter-in-law is also a photographer.
She
so
is.
we'll do gigs together. You know, she'll call me and say, Mom, can you help me with this? And
you're her assistant.
Yes, I'm her assistant. I much prefer that because then she's got the responsibility and I just along for the ride.
Yes. Okay, can you tell me about this stunning piece of art back here?
So that was just made from a friend of ours. He is a stained glass artist, and he was putting together a project for a social or society event for people, and so he just wanted to kind of figure out what he was going to do on a smaller scale. So he got it done, and then he was like, I have nothing to do with this. Could you do something with it? And I said, yeah, I think I could do something with it.
I mean, I need to go get a window now and hang it down from one of my trees. What kind of tree is this?
This is a Chinese elm, and my husband bought it for me for my anniversary one year, and it's probably 20 years old or so now, and I just love it. I use it in place of, I love weeping trees.
Yes.
So I love willows, but willows are just thirsty plants.
They just want way too much water.
And so it just doesn't make sense for us in a Southern California garden. And even, you know, even if I could grow the willow, they drink so much water, I don't think I could grow anything underneath it because it would just rob everything underneath it. So anyways, this is a fantastic alternative. It's beautiful. I love it. I love the way it moves in the wind when the wind blows, and
just stunning.
You know, it's pendulous leaves. You have to trim it up because if you let it, they would touch the ground.
Oh, would it?
Yeah,
my
they would touch the ground. So you
that
do
is
need to
so
limb it up
pretty.
every spring. And it is evergreen, but it does lose a fair portion of its leaves. And it doesn't go completely dormant, but it does. I mean, you can see like all of the leaf mold.
Oh, yes.
I
didn't even notice it.
That's all just the leaves from the tree, which,
that's
you know, our soil is, it's decomposed granite for the most part, so it's well draining, but not very nutrient rich.
Okay.
So, you know, anytime we can add any kind of mulch or leaves or, you know, whatever is around,
now,
we do it.
What is your mantra?
Mulch, 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 and mulch again.
Well, what is your mulch, amend, mulch, right?
Mulch and amend, yes. Mulch and amend, mulch and amend. In fact, it was funny because as we were getting ready for you to come, you know, of course you want the garden to look as special as possible. And every day I'd come home and I tell my husband, I was like, we need more mulch. We need mulch. We need more mulch. You know?
Down there is an incredible garden. We'll show you in a minute. But first we're going to come this way and show you the rest of more of your
rose garden is what I call that.
Okay, your rose garden.
Just because that's what I've got mostly planted in this area.
First of all, let's go look at You grew this from seed?
This is from seed, and then the scabiosa behind it I grew from seed. And it's just starting to flower. So I don't remember which one this is. Fama, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm really good at labeling it when the seeds are there and when I get them in the ground. And then once they're in the ground,
and you forget.
I forget, and I don't keep the seeds. And I'm not like your mom. I don't have that fabulous notebook.
My mom is a nerd at heart,
so
and she loves it.
Incredible.
Did you grow this geranium from
Yes,
seed?
this is all from seed.
Look
the
at this,
penstemon is all from seed.
So how long will the penstemon bloom for?
So it's coming to its end. It started in, let me think, it started in April, and it'll probably, I mean, you can see, I did come in and deadhead some of it, but it's probably got a couple more weeks to go on it. So you know, a good 6 weeks,
Yeah.
8 weeks.
And then it has the dark foliage.
And then it has the dark foliage. Yeah. So it's nice and green and full.
Deb, tell me about these stunners.
So
of a plant.
those are all geraniums, and they're zonal geraniums. I grew those from seed.
From seed, you guys.
Sourced those from Swallowtail also. She has the best geranium selection, I think, of any of the seed catalogs.
This, I just can't believe you grew this from seed. I just can't get over it. So this is from seed.
Yes.
This is from seed.
Yes.
Your white foxgloves
Foxgloves from seed. The scabiosa behind.
Oh my gosh.
The feverfew behind.
Now, I mean,
this is proven winners.
I have to point out, she does have
Yes.
some proven winners, right?
You know, I try to be judicious. If I could,
Yeah.
I would buy proven winners and plant it all over the place.
So if proven winners sent you plants, then
I could find a home for them. But you know, it's not necessarily in the budget. So I try to, like you, I think you call them temporaneous, temperennials, tender perennials.
Yep.
They usually, if I'm going to invest in a plant, I want it to last for more than a season.
I agree.
So, so I don't mind buying the, you know, sparkling amethyst and the pink cascade. Verbena? Is that what it is?
Pink cashmere.
Cashmere, pink cashmere, and it's verbena, right? Is the superbena.
Yeah.
So because they will winter over, and I will have them for years and years and years. So I don't mind making that investment in those.
Be so pretty.
So
with the pink cashmere and the sparkling.
You know,
amethyst.
I loved, because you did the pink cashmere, and I thought, oh, that's beautiful, and I love pink. It's my favorite color, obviously.
Same.
You know,
same.
But I'm kind of partial to the sparkling amethyst just because I think it pops a little bit more.
It absolutely does.
So I have the best of both worlds, though, because I couldn't decide between the two. So they're all just mixed up together.
I just can't get over this garden. I'm so happy to be here, Deb. It's just so
I'm
beautiful.
thrilled to have you, sweetheart.
And another window.
Another window. Yeah, that's just, I think it was an old picture frame, and my husband put it up there. And so he's like, I think it needs a frame there. So he just popped it up there one day.
I'm sorry, but I'm completely copying you as soon as I get home. As soon as I get home. Okay, so let's go. What is this garden?
This
is butterfly garden?
We call this our hammock garden right here, because we've got the hammock, and yes, I do use it.
You do?
I do use it. So yeah.
Gosh, your penstemon. Oh my goodness. I'll have to get a list of the seeds, and I'll put the link in the description down below for Swallowtail seeds.
I'm happy to do that.
But first, I'm going to order them first, just so that they don't go out. I can get my hands on them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we've got bubble gum.
We've got bubble gum.
Tell me about your bubble gum in your garden.
So this is, I think these are probably 2 years old, 3 years old, and I just cut them way back in the winter time. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But I've had pretty good luck with it coming back. Sometimes the second or third year, I can show you some on the hill. It's a beautiful mound. You look underneath and it's just all, you know, kind of sad.
You just don't look
but
at
you
that
don't
part.
see it, you know, because it's covered with so many blooms.
Look at that part.
So, yeah.
And then more lilies.
And then more lilies. These were, I get all of these. So there is, I think I sent you a link to it when they were on sale. There's that beautiful double lily.
You did.
So I've got several of those in here. They're like a stargazer lily, but they're multiple petals, and they're just beautiful.
It's so funny. There's some there's some plants that we're like so partial to, and there's other plants that are kind of strangers to us.
Yes.
Lilies are kind of a stranger to me.
They were to me too. Well, they were to me in the garden.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I was a florist, and so and then when I graduated from college, when my husband and I first got married, I did a wedding floral business, and so. Back in the day, rue lilies or stargazer lilies, everybody wanted them in their bridal bouquets. And so I knew them from that.
Yeah.
I didn't know them from growing in a garden. So
and they're beautiful. I even really like the structure of their
I do
foliage.
too. I do too. They're like little soldiers, aren't they? I do.
So
I love them.
gorgeous.
So. And this is Ceanothus, California lilac.
Yep.
So it's a prostrate version of it. And then over there, there's a different variety that grows more upright.
A little moundy
version. Yes, and they have the beautiful blue blooms.
What is this ground cover here? Is this more ice
That's
plant?
more ice plant. Yep, that's just more ice plant.
A really good job with ice plant. I'm going to have to add more of that into my garden.
You know, it's all about, it's trying to mitigate the weeds, really. That's why I do. I mean, I like having the green, it's pretty, but more I like not having to weed certain areas.
I was just trying to get a butterfly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, with this massive
So this is a Blvd. I'm sorry, I don't know the variety of it. It's you know, I got it at Home Depot. So it's just a Home Depot Blvd.
Yep. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, Deb, I don't even know which way to go. Like, there's so much to see in this garden. Oh, look at these roses. What are these roses?
This is Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's a Jackson Perkins rose. If you love pink and you live in California, grow this rose. It is, I mean, you can look at the leaves. I struggle, my roses, I love my roses and I will work hard to keep them, but we get rust and we get black spot. We just, you know, we do. The Our Lady of Guadalupe, never, you can see, I mean, they're just beautiful, beautiful. They're on their way out. This was their first bloom, but this a week ago you could not even see the bush because there were so many roses on it.
You had told me about this rose and I immediately bought it from Jackson Perkins. And I gave it as a gift to my neighbor. She's gonna love you for that. I'm regretting that.
She's gonna love you for that.
I remember, like, I bought one of these, but I gave it
it's a fabulous rose.
Oh,
it's a fabulous rose. So,
all right.
So this is my butterfly garden.
Wow. And when you say butterfly garden, I mean, I see 4 butterflies right now. Like, it is beautiful.
Yeah, so we're not in the season yet either. Our monarchs usually don't show up until July or so.
Really?
Yeah, they're late here. But we've got the little white ones, and then I just saw a painted lady that was fluttering along there.
Yeah.
So,
beautiful. So you have your ranunculus.
I have my ranunculus. They're looking very sad right now. So
are you leaving these?
I am going to leave them in the ground. In the past, I've always dug them up, and but in our zone, from everything that I've read, I'm kind of like, oh, what the heck, let's try it. You know, this is what they say.
This year.
So I'm going to leave them in the ground this year, and then I'm going to overplant them with supertunias.
Like you did over here?
Yeah, so I got the idea over here. So this is a row of ranunculus, and then I have 3 rows over here. And these were actually supertunias that were left over from last year, and I had just cut them back really, really hard. There was nothing left of them. I didn't think that they were going to come back. And then as the ranunculus came up, the supertunias started growing.
Wow.
So I kept it trimmed because I didn't want the supertunias to overtake the petunias, because you know they will do that. Yeah. And but I thought, you know what? After I trim back all of the ranunculus, I can just plant this whole thing with supertunias, and then we'll just have ground cover. And
I just noticed this lining your pathway here. It's gonna be so beautiful. You have to send us pictures. Well, I guess we'll just go look at your Instagram. So this is a line of status.
This is the line of status. It can grow as a perennial here. So this is, let's see, when did so this is its 2nd season. I think in the future though, I am just going to treat it as an annual because it's not coming back as strong this year. So, but it's super easy to start. I started it all from seed. This is one of the flowers you can do in the cool sowing method. So you plant it in the fall. So I'll start the seeds in August and then plant them out in the fall.
Where do you start all these seeds?
I have a bedroom.
You have a whole, because you keep saying, oh yeah, and I do this from seed.
Yeah.
Where are all your seed
I just
trays,
honestly,
Deb?
it's nothing fancy at all. It's just a big old Home Depot rack, and I just start them. And my husband's very tolerant because there is a season where I'll kind of outgrow it, and so they'll be on the kitchen table, and then I'll put them out on the patio in the day, and then bring them back on the kitchen table at night. And so, yeah, I've gotten kind of obsessive about it.
Just a little bit. But look at what you've done from seed. I mean, I got to say, at least 50% of this garden is from seed.
Yeah, pretty much this bed is,
Can we just show, well, I'm going to show you the Eden rose over there, but look at your beautiful fence.
Yeah.
You have this gorgeous white fence, and then you have dogs.
Yes.
Which is the shame. But she's done roses.
Yeah. So that's the light pink one is New Dawn, and then the white one is Honeymoon Arbor Rose.
Wow. Is that a llama?
It is. That's Milton.
Milton.
Milton the llama. It's our neighbor's llama.
Oh my
Yeah, he's very friendly. You go down there, he'll run up to the fence. You can pet him.
Cute.
We take my granddaughter down there, and of course, she, immediately says, "Llama, llama, red pajama." So
Oh my gosh,
he's very
at
sweet.
first I thought it was a horse, and then I had to look twice because I was like, "What's wrong with that horse?"
Nope, it's a llama.
No, it's a llama. Okay, so now we're walking into.
This is what I call my rose garden, just because this is where most of my roses are planted.
Right.
It's a sunny, warm area for them. So, yeah.
Look at this. Look at this rose. This rose smells so good. This is
Lagerfeld.
This smells like perfume.
Yeah.
It is absolutely incredible.
I planted this one in memory of my great grandma. She had a beautiful rose garden. She passed away when I was 10 years old, so I have little memories of her. But she would take my hand and say, "Come, let's walk in the garden." And so, and she always wore purple. So that I planted that one in memory of her. And
oh, this is incredible, Deb. There's butterflies and bees all over the place. Tell me about these orange ones.
These are they're called Soul Sister, and they're cordis. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
I think that's right.
But
I mean, that's how I would pronounce it.
It's the German breed, the breeder in Germany, and I think that this one is offered through Jackson Perkins. And you might also be able to get it at Heirloom Roses, through Heirloom Roses. But it's, again, this is another one that's it's grown on its own rootstock. So you don't have to worry about, like, if you trim it too far and you get, the crazy Soul Sisters plants coming out of it.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It starts out as a deep, deep, deep orange. The buds are, you can see here, like they're just deep, deep, deep orange. And then they come to this really pretty core. Well, this one's almost fully open.
Yeah.
And then as they age out, just like an old lady, they just get soft and pretty.
What a nice way to put it. It's beautiful. When we were walking earlier, Deb said, "Okay, this is one that you have to get. You absolutely have to get."
I would highly recommend it.
Deb, recommendation. What?
This is my Eden rose, and
You're so beautiful. I just love it on the white fence, and it's just, oh my gosh.
She's a beautiful rose. We get what we call we get May Gray and June Gloom, where we get the inversion layer that comes in, and so the mornings are very foggy and damp. And because Eden is a ball rose, I have another rose, Desdemona, that's a ball rose. They can ball up a lot. So she's starting to open up a little bit more.
Cup.
But yeah.
Oh, I just love this rose so much.
I know, I do too. I saw that there's a sport, a white one. Have you seen that one? I was looking on Heirloom Roses the other day. There's a white sport.
Did I?
Eden Rose.
You know what? I think my mom has that one. But it's a baby yet. I haven't seen it.
But yeah,
she's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Gara?
And then Gara, yes.
Oh my.
Now Gara, you have to be careful with in here because it's everywhere. Everywhere.
Really?
I mean, it's not a bad weed to have, right?
No, not at all.
You have a weed, then you can have this. But I do stay on top of it because it springs up everywhere.
Oh, how funny.
But yeah, it's beautiful though. I love it.
Can you tell me about this massive?
We call it Cousin It.
Yep.
And it is a Cape honeysuckle. It's not in bloom right now. Starting, you've got one little orange. Yeah. And it's from South Africa, I think, is where it's native from, and it's a vine shrub. So you can grow it as vine, you can grow it as a shrub, you can trim it, you can limb it up and grow it as a tree.
Where's the one that you had as the tree?
Over by the office.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna put a clip in that, so you can see this as a tree, which I really like it grown as a tree. Okay, what is this?
So I call this my cut flower garden, laughingly.
Yes. Do you cut your cut flower?
I hardly ever cut my cut flower garden.
Same. I'm totally the same.
I started, it's a baby right now. Unfortunately, the ranunculus were blooming like crazy a couple weeks ago, but they've gone over.
But that's okay. Look at how beautiful it is.
Yeah, so these are more florets. So this is Alpenglow.
Okay.
And then the other bed is the precious metals.
Oh,
so I just, they're just babies that started from seed, and they got her maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Look at how organized. Look at how organized you are with your lines.
Yeah.
This is happening in my garden. in my beds.
I've seen you do like the twisting. I used to do that.
This looks so much
and
better.
it's just easier. You use, and well, you're using in the landscape, right? You're using the spacing of the microtubing.
Yes.
With that.
Yeah. This just looks so much nicer than my flower garden. I'm gonna go home and dig everything up. So tell me, these arches are beautiful.
Yes.
Are they from gardeners' supply?
They are. They are. They're the rose arbor or rose. I don't know, heirloom rose, something.
I know what you're saying.
Yes,
I'll link it down below.
They're the ones, and you can actually link them together if you wanted to make a tunnel. Like they have the connecting pieces if you wanted to make a tunnel.
And you did that last year?
No, I used their sweet pea tunnels.
Oh yes.
Originally I had sweet pea tunnels across here. Grew sweet peas, loved them, loved them, loved them. But they, once it gets hot, and if you don't stay on top of
I know,
trimming your sweet peas, they
done.
go over.
Yeah,
right?
they're done.
So, and I honestly, I just don't have time to be down here clipping deadheaded sweet peas to keep them going.
Sweet peas, you gotta
all
go
in the
for it.
twine and everything. And it kind of, so it was beautiful. When you're standing up in the driving, you look down, you'd see those, but you didn't see beyond.
Yeah.
And so design-wise, I was like, it just doesn't feel like it just felt too segmented.
Yep.
So,
so what are you growing here?
So those are, oh my gosh,
purple hyacinth.
Yes.
Hyacinth
bean.
And then this one
and then this is Claire Austin, I think, is the
look at this rose.
The David Austin rose. So they're just brand new. I just planted them. I got them from. I think I got those from Heirloom. I don't think I got them direct from David. Some of them I got from David Austin directly, and then some of them I got them from Heirloom Roses.
And then what is this last one right here?
And then that is, oh help me,
Mandevilla.
Mandevilla vine. Yeah, my daughter-in-law got that for me.
You have a good family.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Deb, what is this stunning garden you have here?
So this is just my wildflower meadow.
Oh my goodness, I hope it's coming across on camera as beautiful as it is in real life, because this is incredible. When did you do this?
I did this, so this is my second year of it. So last summer was the first year. I started it in the fall of whatever that was.
Okay.
And so last summer we had it, and then it browned out and died in the middle of summer. And so we just mowed everything down. We left everything here, and long about probably, I'm going to say January, the alyssum started coming up, and then
let me come around.
The toadflax and the blanket flower.
So this is all from seed?
This is all from seed.
Oh,
yep, got it all, sourced it all from American Meadows. If you want to do a wildflower meadow, they're a wonderful company. They have all kinds of different mixes for different parts of the country. They've got shade mixes, they've got drought tolerant mixes, they've got mixes for the Southwest, for the Pacific Northwest,
wow.
On and on and on.
Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. So did you just throw the seed out, or did you?
So we tilled the ground, and I got impatient because I just wanted to start it. We probably would have been better if we had done some kind of weed abatement to begin with, like if we had laid plastic tarp to kill the existing weed seeds.
Right.
But we didn't, because I just wanted to get started. So I do have to come in, because we do struggle with some pernicious weeds in the area. So I have to come in and get the crane's bill out, and the goat heads, and all those nasty things. And this has kind of become a field ground for the gophers. They love all of the plants.
Happy.
So they're happy. Unfortunately, some parts of it are looking a little bit like this area up here is the ideal. That's what I would like it all to be.
So beautiful.
But we have some rodent damage down below.
And we're not even going to show it. I mean, well, here.
Yeah, you can show it. It's okay. We'll be transparent.
But Deb said to me, like, we don't have to show the wildflower meadow. We don't have to show it. And it's like, absolutely not. We are showing this wildflower meadow because it is so incredibly gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I just love it.
So one of the fun things, I think, obviously that it was filled with poppies. It kind of it progresses as the year goes on, right? Because the different wildflowers bloom at different times.
Yep.
I think I'm going to be more discriminating, as I didn't overseed this at all last year. This came back from the first time that I seeded it.
What?
So I did not add any additional seed to it.
Oh my goodness.
But this next year, I think I want more of the poppies.
Yeah, the poppies
I think
are
they're
really
so beautiful. I'm probably going to throw in some more blanket flower and the little, I don't know what it's called, but the little native California. I love this little baby over here. I think you showed it on one of your other videos.
Oh yes,
but
yeah, this is a native.
Yeah, I just
can't
love
remember
this.
the name of it right
yeah,
now.
Bird's Eye something, I think.
Yeah,
or,
I think that's right.
So anyways, I want to add some more actual California natives to it, because these are Southwest, not necessarily California.
So tell me about the bachelor button, which is beautiful.
So bachelor button, it is considered, I have read that it is considered invasive in California, and I know that people in the best of intent, you know, are wanting to like, let's just throw some wildflowers out, and oftentimes those mixes will include bachelor buttons, which can end up kind of taking over native areas and stuff. So you want to be careful with it.
Which you can see, your bachelor buttons are looking incredible.
Yes,
but if they're not, you know, if they're going to take over.
If they take over, and you know, particularly in native habitats and stuff, I think, you know, depending on where you live.
Oh, Deb, this is
absolutely
stunning.
So this is, I love this one. It's Farewell to Spring, and I just think it's such a pretty, so it comes in the purple and the pink, and then there's that kind of mauve-y color back there. It's all the same flower.
Is it called Godisha or something
I think
like
so,
that?
yes.
Oh, it's just absolutely amazing. And then even the alyssum.
Yeah.
Just having the alyssum down here is just
And the nice thing about the alyssum is it will, I mean, it will, as long as it has a little bit of moisture. So last year we did not supplement water this at all.
That's crazy.
This year we are, I'm just hand watering it once or twice a week, just to kind of extend the season so that we don't have, it will end up browning out and we will have a mowed field some point in the summer. But the alyssum, even at that, if you give it just a little bit of water, the alyssum will start popping up right away. So it's very sweet. It is a good weed to have. So, and then this area is just all white clover. We always use this area for extra parking when we have family and friends over.
Beautiful.
And
extra
so
parking.
it was just it was dirt, and you know, as you learned when you were doing the Master Gardener stuff, right? Don't have barren dirt. You know, cover it with something.
You gotta do something with it.
So I talked to my husband. I was like, well, let's throw some clover down there. We do have rabbits here, so the rabbits are welcomed.
So they focus on this,
the clover, because they love it.
Else.
So yeah,
the
so I just say,
behind you.
I just say, come rabbits, eat my clover. Stay away from my ranunculules.
Anything else, please. Oh gosh, look at your lilies from this side. Yeah. So we are on the other side of her wild and crazy garden. Her
wild child. Yeah, my English garden / wild child.
English garden. Oh my goodness. Oh, Deb, I just cannot get over this garden.
Oh,
you are first of all, you're such a wonderful, caring person, human being, and this garden is like, it's saying thank you to you.
Oh.
It is so very beautiful.
Well, it is definitely a labor of love, and I hope you keep this in. Don't cut it out.
No promises.
So I've been watching you from the very beginning. I think maybe 5 days after you posted your Super Tunia bubblegum, and I just think the world of you.
Aww,
so if Janey reaches out to you and says, can you come visit my garden? Can I come visit your garden? Say yes, yes, yes. If for no other reason that you get to spend a day with one of the most sweet, enthusiastic, good-hearted, beautiful women. Janey, you've done amazing things in 2 years. Like, you've just done amazing things, and you are a welcoming presence and an encourager to all of the gardeners, and I love you. And I told my husband when you first got here, my heart was just racing a mile a minute. I was like, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to meet a movie star. Stop it.
Deb, I love you. You are such a wonderful human. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. Well, make sure you follow Deb on Instagram so we can see more of her beautiful gardens, her beautiful photos. And this is just heaven. We are going to go have lunch outside. I'm just so excited.
Just enjoy the
Deb,
day.
thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.